What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a Hasbro Star Wars Vintage Collection Market Update. I've got recent sales prices. I think pretty much all of these sales prices are within the last 2 or 3 days. And it's a really interesting, not the usual type of bunch of items that have sold kind of video, if that makes sense. Not a lot of TBC 1.0 in this video. A lot of TBC 2.0, a lot of vehicles. There's been a lot of vehicles that sold here recently, at least on the US eBay, and several graded with very surprising sales prices that that I think support a lot of what I've talked about in the past in a good way for prices. The price points are all over the map, though. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think we're kind of in a weird inflection point where we hit the bottom in the fall to winter of late 2021, and now prices are kind of climbing back up a little bit. And certainly, there's been some deals over the last, let's call it 2 months or so. And there were some deals in this batch. Don't get me wrong, but there are also some prices that are like, that is a very, very strong sales price, and it gives me hope that I think we'll still see kind of some stability in prices for the vintage collection. So before I dig in any further, if you like these kind of market videos and you're new to the channel, I try to provide these once a week for the vintage collection. Please consider subscribing. And to my existing subscribers and, of course, my Patreon supporters, thanks so much. Your support allows me to make more and better videos. Let's dig right in with some awesome items that have sold here recently. This was a VC 000 HasLab Yak Face. Now, if you guys remember from the last market update that we did, which was only a couple days ago, there was a custom graded one where it was Salt Murray, the standard retail release for Yak Face, as well as this one encased in the same case. It was like an 85 plus from CAS, and it sold for less than that this one sold for. So that just shows you how awesome of a deal that custom was. This is a beautiful unpunched example, and the card back looked to be in great shape. It didn't look like it had those factory packing or factory production issues, or if it did, the face of the card obviously has some scratches on a lot of these examples. If you follow the vintage collection closely and my videos closely, this one looks really clean though. It's hard to see any issues. The back of the card looks like it had some scraping there at the top. So I still think this is probably like an 85 or 85 plus. You can see the ding in the lower left on the bottom. But that is a very, very nice example. It presents extremely well from the front, much better than most of these. And I think it was worth every penny of that price. It sold for $340 plus $13 shipping, so about $350 all in. That's probably a price I would have paid for that example. That was a very, very nice one. Grand Moff Tarkin, this is one of the few TVC 1.0 that I've got in the video. There's just not a lot of unpunched, ungraded examples of TVC 1.0 in this video. There are a few, but this was an ungraded, unpunched VC98 Grand Moff Tarkin. Again, this is one we've talked about at length before, and it hit its kind of price peak at around $250 ungraded, and this one was a very, very nice example, it looked like, based on the photos. I didn't really see much wrong with it. Obviously, the photos are not as bright and sharp as I'd like it to be, but based on the photos, it looked very clean, probably a 90 grade. It probably would hit 90. That one sold for $175 plus $16 shipping, so about $190 all in, and that's, probably in line with the slightly lower floor, the lower ceiling now that we're seeing for a lot of these previous expensive TVC 1.0 that, kind of hit some new price highs towards the summer of last year. They kind of pulled back just a little bit, and I think that this is a good example of one that has pulled back just a little bit. I wanted to talk about a bunch of vehicles that have sold here recently. There was a bunch. Obviously, we got the HasLab Razor Crest coming out finally to people who backed it. I did not. I've been asked that a lot. I did not back it. As much as I'd love to have it, and it's not an affording type of thing. When it was originally released, I certainly could have afforded it, but I think the issue is space for me, as I've talked about. I just don't have the space for something this big, and I'm a mint and sealed box collector, and this is one that would have looked really awesome graded. I'm sure somebody's going to grade one of these, but the price point has jumped dramatically, so I think from an investment perspective, I probably should have backed it. This collectible addiction seller who's based in Ontario, Canada, he has two, and this one is, one of them has sold, one of them is still available. $1,400 US, 1,408 plus $50 shipping, so about $1,460. That is easily the highest price I've seen, and that, again, it includes all the unlocks, all the mint on card figures and things like that are, all the slabs, the carbonite slabs are being included, but $1,400 and about $60 US is kind of, I mean, we documented, I did a video a while back, several months ago, where the resales for these were kind of in the 800 range, 750 to 800 range. This one, now that we're getting closer to the release date, $1,460. That is a massive, massive price jump. Some other kind of earlier vehicle releases. This one is sealed in box, the 2011 B-Wing fighter. I believe this was a Kmart exclusive. Please don't quote me on that. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was a Kmart exclusive. That one sold for $199 plus $15 shipping. We got a slave one that had some box damage. This looks like the later release. It doesn't look like the Amazon. This is the later release that just came out fairly recently. This one sold for $135. This was opened, but it had not been assembled yet, so unused contents. But that one sold for $135 plus $19 shipping, so that gives you an example of a slave one. The Ewok Catapult, this is a surprising one that continues to go up. It seems like these smaller kind of like deluxe packs, like the Ewok, the two Imperial, scanning crew, that's another one that seems to be jumping up a little bit in price. This was a mint and sealed box, and it looked very clean. That one sold for $100, $100 for that one. That was a Kmart exclusive. You can see the Kmart sticker on that one. Box looked really, really mint. But man, that is a big number. $100 took that one home. This is the Toys R Us exclusive X-Wing, and it's got the sticker down there, the Toys R Us exclusive. Really clean box. That one sold for $125 on free shipping. I thought that was a great deal. This is Poe Dameron's X-Wing. This one actually sold for more, so who knows what's going on here. Now, this one was over in the UK. This one sold for $150 roughly, plus shipping. It probably was cheaper shipping. Obviously, someone in the UK probably picked this one up, and the box did look pretty clean overall. But that was mint and sealed box, but that one sold for more than the older Toys R Us X-Wing. I'd much rather have that one than the Poe Dameron one, but the price is what the price is. Antok Merrick's Rogue One X-Wing has come back down. This is the Target exclusive. Now, this one was no figure included, and it sold for $112 plus $19 shipping. So still a pretty solid sales price for just the X-Wing. This was unused contents. And for sealed ones, I've seen as high as about $160 for the Target exclusive Antok Merrick X-Wing. So very nice example there. We've got the Imperial Troop Transport from the Mandalorian. This one was a mint and sealed box example. This one sold for $66 plus $11 shipping. As a side note, not to plug my own stuff too much, but I do have this one graded by Collector Archive Services. That's mint and sealed box, graded CAS 90. I have that one for sale over on Rogue One Vintage Toys on Facebook, or you can send me an email or private message on Instagram if you're interested in that. I can ship it anywhere in the world, but I think right now I've got it priced at $300. But it's a CAS 90 grade, never been taken out of the poly bag. Really nice example. So if anyone's looking for that graded, then I do have that. Star Wars The Mandalorian Imperial Troop Transport. Again, that one sold for $66 plus $11 shipping. Here's another one. That one sold for $71 on free shipping. Looked to be in pretty good shape there too. It had a little bit of damage there at the top, as you can see on the left-hand side. It had some denting there, a little bit of wear here and there. So, for a non-mint example, you're probably talking $60 to $80. Okay, now let's dig into some graded items. So there's a bunch of graded items that all sold here over the last few days, and what's interesting to me is that as much as people make fun of the carbonized figures and say they're just shiny repaints and why would anyone want those? Well, the market seems to say that people are willing to pay a premium for them. And I think this kind of goes back to my logic that I've shared in the past where, hey, if you got a store exclusive, we know the packing issues with Walmart and Amazon and Target with delivering those store exclusives to consumers. My buddy, he just got like a bunch of Maldo creases, the VC211 with the oversized deluxe Mandalorian and Grogu Maldo Kreese with the sputters. He got a bunch of those pre-ordered, and all of them except for one was destroyed in shipping because they were so poorly packed. So it's unfortunate, but it's the reality. But anyway, we have here the VC 166 Mandalorian that was graded straight 90, uncirculated 90. That one sold for $90 plus $15 shipping, so about $105. And then we got this one that was admittedly higher, slightly higher grade. It was a 9.25 grade, but it was not uncirculated. This one is the carbonized Walmart version. So very, very difficult to find this one in high grade because, number one, it's a Walmart exclusive. So, these were shipped to consumers for the most part pretty poorly. But it was circulated. It's not uncirculated like the other one we just saw. That one sold for $75, plus $16 shipping. So a little over $190. So a pretty significant premium. Part of it, I think, is the slightly higher grade. But it is, there's some data there that supports that. These carbonized store exclusives are worth some money to some collectors. Here was a set of the first 4 carbonized figures. So you got the Imperial Death Trooper, the Remnant Stormtrooper, Cara Dune, and the Mandalorian. They were graded 8.5 and 9.0. They were listed for $500 plus $30 shipping. That set sold for $400 plus shipping, so $430. So over $100 a piece for those, even though they weren't not particularly high grade, 8.5s and 9s. The 9.0 is a good score, but 8.5 is not like super wow score or anything. But at over $100 a piece, I think that the argument can be made that, hey, some collectors are willing to pay up for these carbonized figures in high grade, the store exclusives. So I think if you can find a store exclusive that's in really good shape, you want to hold on to those things because I think long term they have a pretty good value proposition from an investment perspective. And here is an uncirculated 9.25 VC 113 Republic Trooper. So that is a very, very difficult item to find. You don't find that one uncirculated very often. But someone sent in a sealed case of that very difficult to find later online. I think it was an online exclusive batch that had like the Republic Trooper and the Emperor's Royal Guard and Neon Numb and a few other kind of harder to find later TVC 1.0 that were online exclusives. Ahsoka, I believe, was another one in that same batch. Anyway, that one sold for that was a 9.25 grade. That sold for $505. $505 plus $10 shipping. So $515 took that one home. Now we've seen some beautiful near mint examples ungraded that have sold as low as $150, $125 even, I believe. 175-ish range. So that shows you the premium that some collectors are willing to pay for a very high grade uncirculated TVC 1.0 figure. That's just one that you don't see come up very often, especially at auction, and the price reflected that. That's a very nice price premium. This is another one that I think needs to get on your radar, and I've talked about this one in the past, and I said, hey, Dr. Aphra at some point is coming to Disney Plus. We just saw Black Chrysantan make his appearance in the Book of Boba Fett. He's got a very close affiliation with Dr. Aphra in the comics. And as a result, Dr. Aphra comic books, her first appearance comic in Darth Vader #3, it's jumped up quite a bit. Well, the action figure has done the same thing. This was an uncirculated 9.25 Dr. Aphra US card. Well, it's got the he died age thing, so I think it was probably manufactured in Canada. Let me see here. Yeah, this one was manufactured in the Hasbro Canada, so it's got the multi-language back on it. But these were the same ones that were distributed in the U.S. There is also an example of Dr. Aphra that does not have that warning label in the upper right-hand corner, and it's very difficult to find. I think that was a European exclusive, if memory serves me. If you guys see one for sale, please let me know. I would love to have one of those. I'm a big Dr. Aphra fan, and I'd love to have that card back variation. It's very, very expensive, though. It's probably, $200 plus ungraded for that one. One did just sell recently in France that was not in good condition. That was like about $70 or so. But I still would have bought it just because I'd love to have that one. So for those of you who are not looking for it and happen to see one pop up on eBay, please let me know because I'd love to get that one. Anyway, this was an uncirculated 9.25 VC 129 Dr. Aphra. That one was listed for $400. It sold for $350. $350 for a 9.25, admittedly uncirculated, but you know, I've got a CAS 95 for this figure, and I'm telling you, this figure is going to continue to jump, and you can still pick this one up for very inexpensive. You know, 25 bucks, 30, 40 bucks maybe at the very top end. For an ungraded Dr. Aphra, I would grab it now, because I'm telling you, she's going to make an appearance at some point, and I would be shocked if she doesn't have her own show. And not only that, but it's just an awesome figure. It's just a really great card back. I love the figure. The Black Series is very, very expensive. It's a very expensive Black Series figure and very tough to find. So I would definitely grab this VC 129 while it's cheap, because it's only going to go up, I think, as she becomes more of a household name among the mainstream Star Wars collectors and fans. Here was a Last Jedi, AFA 8.5 on the modern scale, Luke Skywalker. That one sold for $86 plus $15 shipping on 16 bids. That one just closed on February 6th. So about $100 for that one. That's a figure I didn't even know about. I don't remember this figure at all. I remember the Luke crate, but I didn't know they had this one. This is, I can't keep them all straight. There's just so many figures to keep straight. That's one I didn't even know existed, to be honest with you. Here was an 8.5 Salt Marae. This is what I was alluding to earlier when we started the video with the 000 HasLab version of Yak Face. This was 8.5 on the modern scale. That one sold for $67 at plus $15 shipping. That was a pretty good deal there. This is an uncirculated Boba Fett. This one had the no chest plate sensor on the chest. This is how Collector Archive Services should be labeling it. Instead of saying no chest dent, you need to say no chest plate sensor. This is the way it should be labeled. This was an uncirculated 9.0. That one sold for $120 plus $10 shipping. That was a good deal, I feel like. There's still 3 available for that one, too. That's a good price. That's a really good price, I think, for the early uncorrected Boba Fett. There's still, it's still 3 left. Oh my gosh, look at this sale price for the Bad Batch. This Bad Batch 4-pack is still commanding big prices, and this one was kind of beat up. It had some wear around the top there, and I'm assuming someone's probably going to open this and just keep the carded figures separate. But that one sold for $175. $175 for a non-mint example. And again, they're probably taking them out, but who knows what kind of condition the card backs are in, with judging by the exterior box condition. So, but that's a big price point. But you know, this was in hand in the U.S. and in New York, and that one sold for $175. Big number. Finally, I got a couple of Target exclusive Droids Boba Fetts. It continues to come down in price as more and more collectors within the U.S. are finding these at Target. I have not seen any at retail yet, but this one, you know, we saw some prices kind of in the $125 to $130 range. This one sold for $70 with free shipping. It looked to be in really clean condition, maybe a couple of light dings on it on the card back, but yeah, that upper left-hand corner had a light ding, some edge wear down at the bottom, so probably like an 85 condition, it looked like. Maybe a slight ding there. So yeah, probably 85 is my guess on that one. That one sold for $70, and then another one that was in very nice condition. This one was in Canada though, so keep that in mind. But still on, you know, in the North American side of the pond here, and that one sold for $78 with free shipping to the U.S. So, you know, a couple of data points, but it shows that the price is already coming down, and the Droids Boba Fett still not at retail, really. And there's been a few spottings here and there that I've seen on Instagram for the Droids Boba Fett, but I have not seen any personally at retail yet. That's all I really had. I thought there was just some interesting kind of price data for the vintage collection. And if you are new to the channel, again, please consider subscribing. And thank you again. I'll be back soon.